Welcome to Teaching Truth. In 9 Lessons and Carols, our 6th lesson comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, where we read of the birth of Jesus. Let's read the lesson together. About that time, Emperor Augustus gave orders for the names of all the people to be listed in record books. These first records were made when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Everyone had to go to their own hometown to be registered. So Joseph had to leave Nazareth in Galilee and go to Bethlehem in Judea. Long ago, Bethlehem had been King David's hometown, and Joseph went there because he was from David's line. Mary was engaged to Joseph and travelled with him to Bethlehem. She was soon going to have a baby, and while they were there, she gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, for there was no room for them in the inn. Luke, in writing his gospel, in writing his record of the birth of Jesus, sets it in the concrete, as it were, of a census. He explains how Jesus, whose family came from Nazareth, ended up being born in Bethlehem. Joseph takes his pregnant wife Mary to Bethlehem as part of his complying with the ruling of the Roman emperor. Israel, you'll recall, was ruled by the Romans at this time. And during this process, perhaps even on the journey, Mary starts to go into labour. Her waters break, and eventually she gives birth to Jesus. And because of the large numbers of people coming into the town to obey the order of the Roman emperor, the inns are full. There are no rooms available in any of the premier inns or the travel lodges of the day in Bethlehem. And so Mary has to give birth in a stable, perhaps even a cave-like area in the vicinity. And Jesus, when he is born, is wrapped in swaddling clothes and placed to sleep in a feeding trough, a manger for the animals. Now, just pause and picture the scene. The Son of God, King of Kings, Majesty, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace is born not in a palace, not to riches and not to honour, but into a place of poverty and squalor. From the squalor of a borrowed stable, as the carol reminds us. And written all over the Christmas story is the word humility. Jesus was not born in a palace, he was born in a stable. He was placed as a baby in a feeding trough for the animals because there was no room for Mary and Joseph at the inn. Humility is seen in the birth of Jesus. There was no room for them to reside at the inn. Make sure this Christmas that you don't, as it were, lock Jesus out of the inn of your life and relegate him to a stable, relegate him to somewhere outside of of your normal area of existence. Give Jesus the honor, the place, the respect that he deserves. Yes, he was born into a stable. He was born with the sheep and animals round about him. But into that lowly, humble birth came the King of Kings, the one who would one day be exalted. She gave birth to her firstborn son, dressed him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them at the inn. Is there room today in your life for Jesus? Only you can answer that question. Let me share with you a true experience that I had a number of years ago when I was walking down Buchanan Street in Glasgow a few weeks before Christmas, and there was a man apparently giving away £5 notes for free. And some people, thinking Christmas had come early, took one. Others walked past from a distance, and others viewed with much suspicion, understandably perhaps, the free gift being offered. But supposing we were so suspicious of God, this one who was born as a baby in Bethlehem, in a stable in humble surroundings, supposing we were so suspicious of God in Jesus that we missed out on the free gift he offers us through a relationship with Jesus Christ. The free gift of real and true peace and a reason for living. To miss out on that would not only be terrible, but it would be tragic. God loved the world so much that he sent his one and only Son, Jesus, into the world, into a stable, into a manger filled with straw, into a place where there was humility, into the dankness and the muck of a stable. Because he loved the world so much, he sent his one and only Son into those surroundings. But you know, it's no use to us if we don't receive it.